Hi, guys. Welcome to my weekly Facebook Live. I'm Jen Burson, founder and president of Generation PR and creator of the Powerhouse Pros community. You might be watching this over there. Welcome, welcome. Sorry I'm a little late. I had a scheduling issue with my software and it never actually scheduled me, which is super weird. But we're here now. Let me just find my notes. Hi there. I hope everyone is doing well. I am going to just sort of preface the start here with, kind of the obvious situation going on in the world and in the Middle East. I have no words to convey the horror, the fear as a Jewish person. We come from generational trauma of being persecuted for thousands of years, and it's kind of strange, but it's like part of your soul, your identity. I mean, this has just been the way it's been, and just it's such a complex issue. I am no expert in geopolitical dealings, especially in the Middle East. Let me know who's here. Helps me. I'm definitely not, but I know barbaric, terrorist, horrific, soulless, disgusting things that do not represent the people that we're all, hi Nicola, the people that we're all, making arguments to support on either side. Hamas does not represent the way typical Palestinians are. And thank you. And, right now, the people of Israel are not happy with their own government. But as Americans, who have beliefs like I believe that, you should get married no matter you're gay, straight, interracial, like BU. That is how Israel is. Israel is a country, they're the only democracy in that region of the world. And, their current government is really problematic, but the people are not that government. The people of Israel are just like the people in the US. They support women and progress, and Hamas's goal is to obliterate not just Jews and not just Jews in Israel, Jews everywhere and Americans, because they don't like our way of life and they don't believe in their own lives. Their own bodies are sacrifices for their religion, and that's seen as a way to show commitment to faith. So when you don't care about your own life, you're willing to do horrifying, disgusting, barbaric things, and I can't bear to watch. And we're getting messages from our kids' schools about deleting apps from their phones so that they don't accidentally see these horrifying videos and images that are being circulated and are supposed to be circulated in a greater volume. It's just, there's so much, and it feels so heavy. And just personally for me too, I'm dealing with a lot of huge challenges with my kids right now. Really, really big challenges. Trying to get my son's medication right, and he's having really poor behavior because of his volatility in his meds. So I've just felt like, ugh. So, and I know we're all feeling that way. Whatever your beliefs are, I would assume none of us support terrorism. you know? This is not about that. This is not about saying, you know, thank you guys so much. This is not about saying, like, I believe, you know, that something that happened 70 years ago means that children deserve to be beheaded in front of their parents. Like, are you seriously? Is that when you say, like, they have it coming, that's what you're basically saying? You know, I'm just thinking of like this music festival. Like, we go to concerts and festivals all the time. Imagine being at Coachella. You know, this is Israel's just, they love life and music and culture and have a passion for so many things that really look like us, you know? Um, and you're just dancing free spirited at a concert, and we all know what happened next. So, for me, it's double layered because it's I'm going to stop in 1 second, I promise, but it's the disgust and the fear and the sadness about what happened and what is happening, layered with really heartless, uninformed opinions online that are based in anti-Semitic viewpoints that will just never view Jews as humans or as worthy of existing on this planet. So, you know, it's really, it's heavy. So, thank you guys for being here. I'm going to move on, but let me take a beat. I'm good. I promise. Nothing a vanilla latte can't cure. So, today I'm going to talk about a pitch, like using pitch email templates. We're moving on. You guys are here for the, you know, this is the regularly scheduled programming. Thank you for letting me just speak how I'm feeling, you know. And in that regard, I will never, you can have your beliefs, you can, you know, as long as it's rooted in fact, but I don't feel it's appropriate to believe that anybody would support the actions of Hamas in Israel in the last week. I mean, unless you're a psychopath and have no soul. So, you know, anyway, and Palestinians are not Hamas. They don't love their government either. Anyway, moving on. So, pitching, I know it's been really challenging for all of us in the media landscape, and things are kind of evolving, and we are always trying to figure out what we can do to get that edge, but it still remains that the fundamentals of pitching still are required to land features. It's just writing good pitches, coming up with really good story angles. You know, that's where you're kind of like, okay, my brain is maxed out and empty on this topic. I don't know what else to say. So sometimes it does help to have a template that's a starting place. And we are releasing a template with some foundational things just to kind of remind all of us to keep in place as we're using this tool, and also just thinking through client campaigns and how to connect with journalists in a way that is meaningful for them and will get results for you and your clients. So, you know, we can't always do the pitches on autopilot, but we know it's the bread and butter of PR. It does take a lot of brain power, you know, coming up with those angles, writing out the pitch, but using a template will get you just that much closer to an effective pitch. So it is something that you can use to your advantage. And a pitch template can help ease some of that stress. I know when I stare at a blank page, I'm like, ugh. But if I have something that's sort of assembled that I can vet with my own ideas and my own understanding of the industry and what this editor writes about, now I can customize that to something that they will pay attention to. So if there is a proven template, which is what I'm sharing, then that will really help you craft killer pitches every time. So we're going to dive into all things pitch templates, what they are, why they're such powerful tools, and how to effectively use them as a PR pro. Sound good? Yeah, I see those thumbs up. Thank you guys. And if you haven't already said hi, let me know who's here. Hi, Beverly, Serena, thank you, Barb, Nicola. Who else is here? I had such a cool experience on Monday. I got to have dinner with Erin Carey from Australia and Elaine Marshall. It was so fun. We had the best time. Hi, Chrissy. Thank you for joining. We had so much fun. We went to this awesome Italian restaurant called Pizzeria Mozza in kind of West Hollywood area. Fairfax. Anyway, probably doesn't matter. But it's so fun, like, just to meet people in real life. And they're like, we thought you were tall. And I'm like, I didn't know you guys were both so short. Like, I was like, wow. Doesn't Erin Carey look like she'd be like 5'8"? I mean, she looks like a presence, but she's like 5'2". She's beautiful. Elaine is beautiful and warm. And so just to see all of us interacting and sharing a meal, breaking bread, it was really cool. And I just kept thinking to myself how lucky we are to connect with people all over the world, and that she would have her first trip to the US and have 2 days in LA and choose to spend it with me was such an honor. That's Erin. Anyway, so that was so fun. So any of you guys coming through LA, maybe let's do a 1-day VIP day together, work on your agency, work on your, goals and creating like a vision for the new year, something. Come spend time with me. We will have so much fun. I will feed you. We'll take care of you. But anybody who's coming through LA, please, let's make plans, because that was a blast. Okay, back to the thing on emails. It's exactly what it sounds like, a pitch template. It is an email template that you can follow to craft a customized PR pitch. It's going to cover the basic elements of a pitch, and we'll have things like a subject line, some introduction that you can customize to make it really attention-grabbing, your main story angle, why your pitch is newsworthy, then a solid call to action so that contact knows exactly what to do next in order to move this forward. And then, that conclusion with the next steps. Depending on your niche or that pitch, you may also have in there, we do have it in our template, a section that will be dedicated to relevant credentials, research, stats, something that's current that should be on their radar and that ties in your client or the idea that you have. So that can be in there, can also be taken out if that doesn't apply. And you may also have different templates for different types of pitches. So a guest post pitch is very different than a product launch pitch. Different approaches, like we were talking, and Erin is in town for this like travel adventure boat show, I think in Minneapolis or something. And she's like, I wouldn't know how to pitch products. And I'm like, I wouldn't know how to pitch boats and boating topics. But it all goes back to those fundamentals. But those pitches do look really different. So when you have a pitch template, that's what's key, is that these fundamentals are already laid out for you, and they'll let you go step by step to craft good, effective pitches is what we're trying to get for our clients. It's literally a proven framework for getting results. So why wouldn't you follow it? We did just release today a brand new pitch template resource that you can grab. It includes a template and then also just like a couple pointers on what we think is important when it comes to securing press for your clients. And then a link to get a Word doc that you can add to your drive and make it your own with all the pitch templates. Here's why we recommend you would need to use a pitch template. The first thing, obviously, major time saver. It will cut down on your pitch writing time, your thought process, and also just staring at a blank screen. You've got your story angle in your head. You can just start typing it, filling it in, almost like Mad Libs, kind of, and just let the ideas flow. So that's easier than creating a pitch's content and format fresh every single time. Here it is. You just sit down and get started. You don't have to waste brain power reinventing the wheel every time you send out a pitch. And that is more time, effort, and energy that you're saving on the writing process that you can dedicate to brainstorming unique ideas, innovative story angles. And as a PR pro, your time is way too valuable to be spent sitting at your desk wondering if you should choose between 2 calls to action, 3. Is this 2 bullets? Is this too long? You want your talents to have more of an impact when you use them to come up with the ideas, irresistible ideas for journalists. So that's what you should be kind of harnessing the brain power to use instead of like formatting. I will always tell Miranda, she'll say, I need you to work on this. And I will say, I will get bogged down in the formatting. It's not a pitch. Maybe it's an outline for a new program or a new masterclass that we want to write. And I will get in the weeds with the format, like, formatting this, moving it over. That's, easy. It's the ideas. So if I can't let my ideas flow because I'm worried about, bullet points and the flow of an outline, and is this indent, no, that will trip me up. So sometimes I will even just record a voice memo and then we transcribe it, and that's the starting place. And then that can be formatted and made into whatever we need it to be made into. So that's when I realized that worrying about structure definitely hinders the flow of creative ideas. So we're trying to help take that concern away from you with that process. We want you to create those angles that are going to be irresistible to journalists. Number 2 is when you use a pitch template, you are not going to forget key details. Have you ever sent out a pitch and then you realized you forgot to include key details, like maybe your expert's credentials or their availability or a link to certain brand assets that, they would obviously want to see if they're considering your feature? This doesn't happen when you have a template. You're going to have something that will walk you through every step of the pitch writing process to make sure that you're not forgetting something and you're, leaving no stone unturned. So we do have all of the building blocks of a good, effective pitch in that new resource. I'll include the link again in case anyone joined us or watches on the replay and you just want it right there. When you have templates for every type of pitch, you're even less likely to leave crucial details out. And when you've been knocking out product launch pitch after product launch pitch, and suddenly you have to switch over to pitching your client's expert for TV spots or guest weighing in on articles as an expert or guest posting somewhere, that's when, that kind of context shifting, it's easy to miss key pitch elements in the process. So that autopilot kind of takes over your brain and you're just kind of shifting a little bit, but forgetting the fundamentals of that different type of pitch. When you can just grab your client expert pitch email template and go to town, you're not going to leave out that high priority information. And number 3, this is my favorite reason. To me, this is the most compelling, is that it's so much easier to get started. I find it really hard, like I said, to stare at a blank screen and figure out what I'm putting on there that's going to get the job done. And, whether you're new to PR or a veteran PR pro facing some kind of writer's block, or maybe you're in this kind of perfection paralysis phase, and I'll explain why some of you might be feeling this right now. It's challenging. It's really hard. Things are across the board more sticky and tricky for us in our pitches getting converted to features and our proposals getting converted to new clients. And that weighs on you in a way where you second guess yourself. Give me a heart or a thumbs up if that resonates, because I see it. And that's like the fastest like thumbs up I've ever seen on, because there's a delay. So you guys are like, oh yeah. So that ends up making you feel like it has to be perfect. It just has to be perfect. And like, why am I not getting traction? I don't waste my time and the client's going to be mad, or I'm not converting proposals. So proposals, we have templates for, we have training for. That's an agency accelerator. And they convert. This is like you just wondering, like, is this going to be good enough? Is this going to get their attention? And it makes you feel less confident, and you second guess yourself. And so you get stuck in that perfection paralysis. That's what happens to me. And so that's when I have this PR, writer's block. This is going to help me and you get over that hump and just start writing, doing what you do, get those ideas flowing. For a newbie PR pro, pitch templates are a great way to get started in the industry, just in general. Because now you're going to, you never have to wonder, how are other people doing it? Or what does a good pitch look like? This is going to give you that framework, and it's kind of like just plug and play, right? And then as you send out more pitches with this template, you'll learn what works for your niche, and you'll start to develop your own pitching style. And then you can tweak your templates or your main kind of foundational pitch accordingly, and then see where you're supposed to customize it and make it really stand out. This kind of template can help if you're stuck in a rut and you have a pitch writing routine. I think we talked about that a couple weeks ago. Like, how do you get into that process and flow so that you're set up for success? This will help also get you out of a rut if your routine is feeling kind of stale. Sometimes just having words on a page right away, this is me, I have to have something. Even if they're in brackets and ready to be replaced, which is what our templates look like, that can spark inspiration. That can spark the motivation to just start writing. Plugging in all the elements of your pitch will help you build momentum. And even if you're just writing bare bones content, you want to make edits later, having that momentum behind you will make such a world of difference, and it just makes the process easier. That's where I am best utilized in my agency. It's like reading something that somebody has written and making tweaks or repositioning certain points, punching up and making some verbiage a little more compelling. But it's that idea that something is already on paper, and that final zhuzhing of the Gen zhuzh, which you guys all have your own version of it. It's getting in there and having a fresh set of eyes and really packing a punch. When you have it already 70% of the way there, that process comes much easier, and it becomes faster to have final pitches ready to go out the door that are really compelling. So how do you use a pitch email template the right way? Number one, I did say plug and play. So it's a template, not a plug and play. Just because you're using a template doesn't mean that the pitch should be generic. As you work through and you fill in each part of the template, that's where the customization comes in. That means fitting it to your media contact, their publication, the audience that reads that publication, hopefully the same that are your client's target customers, and their beat. What are they talking about here? If they're covering lifestyle, don't pitch them tech. That's not what they write about. Now we're pitching a lot of commerce editors for products. Just us, you. I don't know if it's happening as much in Canada. Serena, let me know. Or Dubai. Nicola, let me know. But we have kind of veered away from fashion editors, beauty editors, market editors. Now they're commerce editors because of that affiliate need. So it's a little bit different than it used to be, but that means that we're customizing it to really show we understand that need to earn revenue. And there's a simple way that we can convey that to them. Yes, you're going to earn affiliate revenue. This is on Amazon, 500 4 and 5 star reviews. It's obvious what that means. Not quite yet. Okay, interesting. Nicola's in Dubai. Okay. Personal details, like you have to have like that personalized greeting, references maybe to something that you saw on their social media that they've shared, or something that's important to them that they're talking about, just showing you're checked into them. And it makes it also obvious that pitch is just for them. And hi there. We are also referencing pieces that they've already written. So their latest piece, what resonated, what you found most helpful, simple stuff. We've talked about this a lot, especially in the pitch lab. We are making sure that they also know, by doing that we get what they're up to, and this pitch that follows is likely relevant because you know what they typically cover. So even though you're using that template as a base, your pitch still has to, like fundamentals, timely, relevant, targeted to that media contact. One of our members was just sharing a kind of generic pitch for her publication that she got from a firm, but this was now coming from like the founder of the firm. And she very candidly, in a very helpful way, said, I'm not trying to be negative, but I think as an agency owner, which I have been for, almost 3 decades, I would want to know this. And I am getting very generic spray and pray pitches for my consideration that have nothing to do with my publication, have nothing to do with what I cover, nothing to do with my target audience. It is obvious your team is not actually looking, and it's very detrimental to your clients because they're doing this across the board, not just with me. I thought that you would want to know that. And she also did call out some people on this agency's team that were sending more well thought out pitches, still missing the mark, but closer. It's happening across the board. And you have to show whomever's receiving that email, this is not a spray and pray. This is targeted to your contact and what they cover and what their publication is about. And a lot of PR pros think it's easier to just write a generic pitch, send that email, and hope the person on the other end will read it and they will see how it fits into their work, right? You're like, I'm giving you information for you to consider. This is your consideration. So where are you going to put it? They're having to do the work. This is one of the easiest ways to get rejected, to get your pitches deleted, and to kind of get on their SHIT list, right? Because that shows you're lazy. It shows you're not really checked into what they're up to. They're already busy enough. They don't have to do your job for them. Journalists and editors, they want to see you understand their editorial focus. You know what works with their audience. And that is how you get their attention and land a placement. And again, grab our resource, this pitch template, because we also have a little training up front that will walk you through some other things to consider. The second thing in how to use it is don't overload on details. With a template like this, you have the space to throw in a ton of information, but that doesn't mean you should. So don't take it and fill it to the brim. Like, oh, there's 3 brackets. Let me find 3 things. Let me reword this so that it could be a 3rd bullet point. If it doesn't really fit the need, you don't have to include all of the things. You want to avoid that information overload because it is just going to give your media contact just word soup. And they're going to have to wade through this word soup to get to your point, and they won't do it. Instead, you want to keep things on the shorter side. Just send enough information to get your media contact interested in your story angle. Giving away less information, but the right information will hook them in and it'll motivate them to reply, to get those details, to secure the story. Because if that initial pitch that's kind of a little close to the vest intrigues them, they can also assume that their readers are going to be intrigued as well with the right headline that will draw them in. Don't give away, the other side of it, flip side of the coin, is do not give away such little information that the pitch becomes overly vague. If you're really struggling to hit the sweet spot and you're like just throwing a bunch of stuff in there, that's not going to work well for you. It may take a few tries to hit that sweet spot, but once you land there, you'll start hitting it out of the park every time because you know the right kind of balance of information, but not overloaded and enough to intrigue to get them to want to follow up. And then, of course, this does not give you, this is number 3, this is not an invitation to mass pitch. Mass pitching is never okay. A lot of PR pros think that a pitch email template is for spray and pray, where you reach out to an entire media list at one time. You've got a template, so it must work across the board. Journalists will spot this from a mile away. We have been saying this for as long as we've been here. It will land you on their blocked list. And even if you're busy, you're overwhelmed with pitches, which I know as PR pros, we definitely are feeling that. You cannot just fill in your template, blast it out to your contacts, and then just be like, okay, somebody will find a way to write about this. The spray and pray, throw spaghetti on the wall to see what sticks. That is not effective pitching. That is not what a good PR pro does. When they know better, that is what a lazy person does when they're trying to just check the boxes, and just say, well, I pitched it. I wrote a good pitch. It's like, So it might seem like a waste of time to use a template and then tweak it every time you send out a new pitch, but that will get you far more results in the long run, and it is worth it. A strategic, targeted pitch that's clearly been personalized for a media contact is going to have a much better chance of success than a generic mass pitch. And as you get results for your clients, your confidence is going to grow. You'll become that indispensable part of their team. You really get their brand, you know how to communicate it to the media, and you are going to become a critical part of their overall strategy because you're getting the features, the amplification that they're looking for. You're getting them the results they came to you for. And you're working in a way that allows you to course correct if things aren't resonating and make kind of real-time changes. And so that's very valuable to them. It's a lot harder for clients to kind of, go and find a whole new team, get the team onboarded, than it is to have a PR firm say, here's what we've tried, here's the approach we're taking, and it's resonating a little bit over here. And so what we see happening is more leaning into that, and we're going to give it a try this month. Versus like they're not converting and now we need to start over with someone else. That's harder. So just know that when they invest in you, they want you to succeed. They want you to get results. And if you're very clear about your process, they don't need to know you're using a template, but you can say you're customizing targeted, personalized pitches for every contact you're reaching out to, which is what makes it time consuming. And they will give you the runway if you explain what they should expect and when, and that really does start to happen. And then if things are not landing the way that you hoped, how are you addressing that? How are you learning from those efforts? What did resonate, and how can you build a new, pivot to build a new pitch around that idea that people are kind of into? And that shows clients that you're nimble, you're paying attention, you care, you're caring about the details, and why wouldn't they want to give you more runway to make it happen? So that's when you convince a client that you know your stuff, They give you that runway because they trust you and your expertise. So again, no mass pitching, no spray and pray. I think I did drop a link here. Serena saying that Bryce Gruber, who we know, is starting in Canada, and her new role, which is usually commerce. Serena said, that's what I used to do when I first started. It was how the agency worked. But then I found you and learned better, thankfully. Oh, and Nicola's saying same. Yeah. I mean, it's not that much more effort, but it does yield a lot better results. I'm so glad that we could get you guys on the right track. I think it really does, given that you guys are both saying that's how you learned. I think it does show that that's kind of the standard that's out there. And we use the fact that we're creating targeted, timely, relevant pitches as part of our sales process. Because we can say what the other guys are doing, the spray and pray, they're going to send you a list of all these places they've pitched. First of all, not all of them are relevant. And second, they are just using a template. They're using mail merge and hoping for the best. We're seeing those pitches and they're lazy and editors don't like it. So it is a lot better to make deeper connections, work with the same editors over and over because of your niche, and you make really good connections inside those outlets and for the contacts that you can support and make their jobs better and they can help you. And so I'd rather have 10 of those contacts than a list of 1,000 publications that I could just send one email to, spray and pray, and hope that 10 people will open my email and like what they see. It's not going to work. It's not just a numbers game. There's a lot more nuance that goes into it. So hopefully the pitch template and the little kind of mini introduction that gives a couple pointers will be helpful to you. Again, not condoning just customizing it for one thing and just sending it out with mail merge or whatever. Make it personalized for everyone. It just is going to save you time because you're not staring at a blank screen. Yeah. So that's what I have for you. So this is a new resource for us. Just launched today. I hope you guys grab it. And let me know if you have any other questions. I just really am grateful that you're here. And, those of you that know me well and have been here a long time, you know the kind of person I am and where my heart is. And I just want to help. Hi. Chrissy's asking, I'd love to hear how others format their follow-up emails. Inside the Pitch Lab, actually, Chrissy, there are some pointers on follow-ups in there. But if anybody wants to share, please reach out to Chrissy. We might be able to find something for you too. But anyway, I appreciate you letting me just speak. I know you're not here for any personal perspectives on anything, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about that at the top of the call. And I just appreciate you allowing me to. Oh my God. Nicola's saying she had a list of 2,000 email IDs, like addresses, with no contact details, literally spray and pray. That's horrible. And honestly, I feel like that's unethical to the client to take their money and be like, we're pitching 1,000 contacts, but there's no contacts. There's no alignment with your idea, your client, their publication. It's just, here's information, digest it, and I hope to hear from you. And that's you making their job harder. They're not going to give you the time of day. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. Hug your friends tight. And if you happen to know people in any part of the world who are Jewish, it's, I mean, other people have experienced just a lifetime of persecution for just being who they are. But it's especially hard right now for the Jewish population around the world, no matter where they are. And we have also heard there's, Israel's the start. and America's next, not just Jewish Americans, all Americans. They don't want any of us, anybody who has opposing views, liberal views, they want you obliterated. So just know that, it's horribly, horribly sad and disturbing. So hug your friends. Be a wonderful community. We're 5,000 strong now inside Powerhouse Pros. Thank you so much for being a huge part of it. I'm so grateful for all of you. And I will see you here next week. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your week. Take care. Bye.